Yesterday we discussed what are the types of breech delivery. Today we'll discuss about vaginal breech delivery, how it is conducted, and assisted breech delivery. Now, criteria for patient selection, it should be complete or frank breech. Effective vagal weight should be 2 to 3.5 kg. The head should be flexed and it should be an uncomplicated breech. Now we should also know what is complicated breech. Complicated breech is the one which is associated with some obstetric complications like placenta previa or twin pregnancy or gestational hypertension. Okay, so in those cases we will not allow for a vaginal breech delivery. What is assisted breech delivery? As we all know, as discussed in yesterday's class, will not do any maneuver till the delivery of the umbilicus. Okay, after that only we will start our roll. Now, what are the requisites for allowing a assisted breech delivery? Obstetricians skilled in breech delivery should be available. Facilities for electronic fetal monitoring should be available. Neonatologist should be on call. And facilities for 24-hour cesarean section should be available. And forceps for the aftercoming head. That is, any forceps with long blades like Pipers forceps should be available. Now, general guidelines: patient and the attenders should be counseled. Informed written consent should be taken. Induction of labor is not recommended. We'll wait for spontaneous onset of labor. We'll do late artificial rupture of membrane. Oxytocin augmentation can be done, but it is usually avoided. And a partogram is maintained. So here we see that the hips of the baby has delivered and it has undergone external rotation also. So up to the delivery of the umbilicus, as we can see here, up to the delivery of the umbilicus, we don't play any, obstetrician don't have any role up to that delivery. But after that we should insert our hand along the medial aspect of the femur and we should pull the femur laterally so that it comes out. So we will deliver the foot and the legs. Now this grip is known as femoropelvic grip. Okay, thumb on the sacrum and other 4 fingers anteriorly. Okay, this will prevent abdominal injury of the fetus. Okay, fingers on the anterior superior iliac spine, thumb on the sacrum, gentle downward traction until one axilla is visible. Okay, now for delivery of the aftercoming head there are 3 methods. One is Barn Marshall, next is Mauritius Miller-Waite, and third is Pipers forceps. So if asked in MCQ which is the ideal method, we should always say Pipers forceps. Why? Because it helps in controlled delivery of the head, and as a result of it, too much molding will not be there, and it will prevent intracranial hemorrhage and intracranial injuries of the fetus. Okay, so in Barn Marshall technique, after delivery of the shoulders and both arms, baby is led to hang unsupported from the mother's introitus. Okay, as the nape of the neck is visible, maintaining a steady traction and forming a wide arc of a circle, the trunk is swung upwards. Okay, it will cause release of the chin, followed by the mouth, followed by the nose, followed by the forehead, followed by the vertex. Okay, hence it will gradually cause the release of the fetal head. So next is Mauritius Miller-Waite technique. Okay, this is actually the modified Mauritius Miller-Waite technique. Okay, it is also known as malar flexion and shoulder traction. In the original one, we used to put our hand inside the fetal mouth, but here we are putting our hands on the fetal malar prominences. So it is known as modified Mauritius Miller-Waite technique. Okay, so baby is placed on the supinated left forearm with limbs hanging on either sides. The middle and index finger of the left hand are placed over the malar bones on either side, and this helps in maintaining a flexion of the fetal head. Whereas the ring and the little finger of the pronated right hand are placed on the child's right shoulder, and the other 2 fingers are placed on the left shoulder. Okay, and the middle finger is kept on the occiput. Now traction is given in downwards and backward direction until the nape of the neck is visible under the pubic arch. Assistant gives suprapubic pressure during the period to maintain flexion of the head. Thereafter, the fetus is carried upwards and forwards towards the mother's abdomen, releasing the face, brow, and lastly the trunk is depressed to release the occiput and the vertex. In Piper's forceps, we'll just, instead of the femoropelvic grip, we'll just wrap the trunk of the baby with a warm towel, okay? And then we'll introduce the Piper's forceps, we'll raise the baby, and then we'll raise the baby taking care that the head is not extended, okay? And then we'll introduce the Piper's forceps from below. So all the obstetric maneuvers done in breech is done in a high cot, okay? And the obstetrician should ideally kneel down to make all these maneuvers, okay? Now what are the difficulties during assisted breech delivery? If the legs are extended, then we'll follow Pinard's maneuver, okay? Pinard's popliteal fossa, you remember P for P. P for popliteal fossa. I'll tell you in details. Extended arm or nuchal arm. Then also we'll have the Lofset maneuver, okay? Extended arm, Lofset maneuver. Just remember the names. Now what is nuchal arm? If the arm is placed on the head like this, okay? It is known as nuchal arm. If there is entrapment of the aftercoming head of the fetus, that time we cannot shift for cesarean section. So we'll plan for Duhausen's incision. So Duhausen's incision at what position is it given? It is given in 2 and 10. Just remember do, thus. Okay? Do, thus and here D. So 2 o'clock position, 10 o'clock position it is given on the cervix for entrapment of the aftercoming head of the fetus. Now frag maneuver we should remember, okay? In all the types of breech, it should be dorso anterior, okay? So if it is dorso anterior, if it is dorso posterior, frag maneuver is followed. So these are the birth injuries occurring during breech delivery. Starting from the head of the fetus, tentorial tears, intracranial hemorrhage, brachial plexus injury, spinal cord injury, fracture of the clavicle, humerus, femur, depressed fracture of the skull, the injury to the genitalia. Now we'll see some MCQs about breech, okay, related to breech. First of all, one thing I missed in the class is ZA score. That is Zatukny-Andrews score. The Zatukny-Andrews score should be more than 4 for allowing a breech to deliver vaginally, okay? So what are the factors? Factors are parity, gestational age, estimated fetal weight, previous breech delivery, cervical dilatation in centimeter, and station of the presenting part, okay, with scores of 0, 1 and 2. If the score is less than 4, it predicts poor prognostic value, okay? So for this I made a mnemonic PGWB CS, okay? P for parity, G for gestational age, W for estimated fetal weight, prior breech delivery, cervical dilatation in centimeter, and station, okay? So I am from the West Bengal, so I'll remember it as in West Bengal PGs will do cesarean section, okay? So this is a mnemonic. Now coming to the MCQs, just answer this MCQs, okay? First question is, time between the delivery of the umbilicus and delivery of the head should ideally be 15 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, 25 minutes or 30 minutes, okay? So post your answers in the comment section. Then ECV is nothing but external cephalic version. It is done from which gestational age onwards, 30 weeks, 32 weeks, 34 weeks or 36 weeks. Then success rate of ECV is 60%, 50%, 70% or 65%. Then the last one is ECV can be done for the following indications: breech, twins, transverse lie, both A and C. Okay, just post your answers.